The tornado that destroyed much of Moore, Oklahoma, was in fact an EF5 tornado.
Which, of course, is the highest rating that's given to tornadoes. That means it had winds of at least 200 miles an hour. Meteorologists say that tornado carved a path of destruction 17 miles long. It killed at least 24 people, including 9 children. 7 of those 9 children were killed at the Plaza Towers Elementary, which took a direct hit. School in Moore has now been canceled for the rest of the year, and the fire chief says he is confident all survivors and victims' bodies have at this point been found.
Fox 4's Calvert Collins has been in Moore all day long, and I know you've been talking to people, Calvert. How are they doing?
You know, I'm just very impressed, remarkably well. They're not focused on the destruction. Of course, it's all around them, but they're looking forward. You know, many of them have been through this before, not just the massive tornado that struck 14 years ago, but far more recently. And they're so grateful that so many state, local, and regional agencies have come here to help, and now they're looking to rebuild.
Like I say, you know, by the grace of God, we were pretty fortunate, you know, that we got our lives. We know some of the people that live in this neighborhood, you know, and we've just been trying to call them and trying to find them, and we can. So I just hope that they're okay.
A sentiment felt by many in this town of 56,000. Friends, family, and neighbors lost their homes, schools, and businesses to 200-mile-per-hour winds. Even walking around the devastation, the resiliency of these people is ever present.
It's amazing that the people rallying together. It's just heart and spirit.
Recent Dallas transplant Paula McElhaney was relieved to see that despite the destruction, residents found ways to cope as others retrieved their belongings.
I took my dogs on a walk around the neighborhood, and I actually saw kids playing basketball in their yard, and so it actually had a sense of normality for the first time.
While the search teams like Texas Task Force 1 scoured the rubble, knocking on storm shelter doors looking for survivors.
This could happen in our backyard. It has happened in our backyard. So anytime that we can take a community that has had a damage and a hit like this to them and just make it a little bit better, because we've been there.
This group of volunteer firefighters and paramedics are part of FEMA, and the agency's director says part of the recovery is helping the people of Moore move on.
When the president declared the emergency last night, one of the programs we turned on was assistance for individual and families who don't have insurance. And that's really going to be our focus on those families who didn't have insurance that need assistance, particularly with housing assistance, rental assistance, and then supporting local governments as they start picking up debris and cleaning up from this.
But that wasn't the focus of this volunteer barbecue tonight. No one was thinking about the months down the road. They just wanted to enjoy their burgers and their friendships.
Move on, you know, and help each other out like we've been doing for so many years, and, you know, life goes on.
Yes, it does. And, you know, the immediate need is to get so much of this debris out of the way. I mean, it's just everywhere, unfortunately. But as you mentioned, Heather, you know, Moore Public Schools has canceled the rest of the school year at all of its schools, but there is still going to be graduation for all 3 high schools this Saturday in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, one sign, Calvert, that they are trying to move forward. And you mentioned the woman seeing the kids play basketball in the neighborhood. That's a small sign, but it is nice. Okay, so those folks were allowed back into their neighborhood. They were able to get some things out of there to retrieve some things?
They were on foot. They weren't allowed to drive any cars in, but by suitcases, wheelbarrows, boxes, crates, all residents were allowed back in because these entrances are being guarded by state police, but everyone else from the media to the general public is not allowed in these neighborhoods until they are cleared.
I do like the way they do that in Oklahoma. We don't always do that here. That's good. Get them back in and kind of some mental stability to say, okay, there's my place. Here's what we're going to have to do. All right, what do they need now, Calvert? How can we help them? What's the immediate need?
Well, I mean, there's so much. I was just talking to a county commissioner of Oklahoma County 30 minutes ago and asking him that exactly. He had just come from touring Plaza Towers Elementary, and he said there is just so much debris that getting that out of here so that they can rebuild. They have the haulers, they just don't have the manpower, and so that's where they're really going to need volunteers to step up. They have the equipment. They just have to get it out of here, and people, of course, you know, can keep donating to the Red Cross. Another one he said is Christmas Connection, which is an Oklahoma-based, completely volunteer organization that is on the ground here, taking volunteers only and giving direct directly to those people in need.
All right. Calvert Collins, live in Oklahoma. I know a lot of Texans will probably go. They need manpower. I suspect a lot of North Texans will be ready to give it to them. Thank you.